What's going on, guys? Bobby with Consumer Time Capsule, back with another review for you here. And today we're talking about, man, I love these 90s products. We're talking about Zima, which has just been brought back for the second year in a row. Of course, Zima, if you watch the Consumer Time Capsule, YouTube channels, commercial uploads, I've already uploaded 3 Zima commercials. And, you know, I love the clear beverage phase of 90s beverages, like Crystal Pepsi, Tab Clear, Miller Clear Beer. Really, one that was totally on the forefront of that, and maybe most associated with that, is Zima, which is a clear malt beverage, came out in 1993. It is a Coors product, and really, it's 5% alcohol by volume. It's a refreshing citrus beverage, so like a lemon lime kind of flavor to it. And our cameraman Ryan's never had one. I didn't have one on its initial release because obviously I was just a child. But yeah, and I wasn't one of those like really screwed up kids. So so I wasn't drinking at like 8 years old. I didn't try Zima at the time, although it was very interesting to me. And I got a chance to try it last year, so this is not my first impression of Zima, but it's pretty darn close. So Ryan, enjoy, and cheers. Thanks for all of your hard work as the CTC cameraman. And this is our first foray into alcoholic beverage as well. So I'd say we're getting a little risque, but I've posted like between the Busch commercials and the Zima commercials and the Budweiser commercials. This channel's been swarming with alcohol for a long time, but let's see how refreshing this citrus beverage really is. You know,
good nose.
Yeah, it smells kind of like a Smirnoff, you know, and you want to compare it to Smirnoff. Like, that's the thing about Zima. You want to compare it to Smirnoff, but you know, it's different. It's not exactly the same.
It smells like a syrupy Smirnoff.
It is kind of syrupy. Well, but
Smells.
Smirnoff's pretty syrupy too. Yeah. So one thing I do want to bring up, obviously I love the culture of 90s beverages and stuff. I didn't dig out my original Zima bottle, but I do have this sign of the bottle. That is not a complete match, but that is pretty darn close, right? I mean, that's pretty great. And
pretty close, yeah.
it's not identical. That some of the phrasing in malt beverage with natural flavors and how it says Zima clear malt doesn't have that exact. It's not exactly the same, but man, oh man, is it close. So so great job. I love the design of the bottle with like the studding. I don't know what that. I don't know how to phrase that. But cheers, man. Let's try it. It's got a sweetness to it, but you know, you can tell it's an alcoholic beverage. You know, it's not subtle in its flavor. It almost has like a, you know, I don't have a real distinguished palate when it comes to alcohol. I pretty much only drink Busch when I do drink. So,
which is often.
That'll get edited out. No, I'm just kidding. Nonetheless, man, this, it's solid. It has a little bit of a beer taste and a little bit of a citrus taste. I do kind of get that.
Interesting.
Like, especially, I don't know, like when you talk and it's kind of getting into your nose, yeah. It gets a little beery. When it's in your mouth though, it's more of like a citrusy kind of flavor. But it's not overwhelmingly sweet. It's really not. It's not as sweet as like a Smirnoff would be, or like a wine cooler, or, you know, whatever its comparators would be in the modern drinking landscape, which was very different back then. Obviously in 1993, this was probably considered pretty sweet. It's very, very sweet for like a beer type beverage. Excuse me. But it's really, it's pretty good. I mean, I don't dislike it. It's very drinkable. You know, I don't think it would be a challenge to polish these off in an evening. You know, it's, you know, like, man, so soon we're going to also be reviewing the Budweiser Freedom Reserve Red Lager. I can already tell you without having had one, it probably would be a lot more challenging to polish off a 6-pack of those than it would of these. So it's good. The carbonation is actually really nice. It's like differently carbonated than a beer. You know, a beer like gets like, you know, heady and frothy and stuff. This is more like a soda, but like a lighter, almost like the sparkling Kool-Aid. There's Kool-Aid sparklers, as we call those. This is a product that we've reviewed before. It does kind of have that similar carbonation where it's not overwhelmingly carbonated, but it has a nice, pleasant, light carbonation to it. Really, I think it's pretty good. What do you think, man? You're the one who hasn't tried it before. You like it?
Yeah.
And have I left out anything? Any important details? And really, the bottle just feels great. Like
10.
it
10
just
out of 10.
the 10 out of 10 in terms of like the feel of it. It just I don't like drinking out of bottles. Just to be perfectly clear, I think drinking a canned beer is always better than drinking a bottle beer or a draft beer or anything like that. But this is the exception. This is like, it feels good. So yeah, I would say, really, I mean, if we're going to just go ahead and get into the gimmick, look, they brought back Zima. That had a little bit more credit last year, but now they did it again. They kind of watered it down a little, watered down the concept a little bit by doing it again so soon, but hey, who am I to complain? I mean, Zima's back. That's very cool. That can only be good for the Consumer Time Capsule YouTube channel. Watch those commercials that I've uploaded for Zima. I'm going to actually link them in the description. I got 3 of them that I've already uploaded in past months. So, man, the gimmick of bringing Zima back, I mean, that's a 10, right? I mean, like, Zima to begin with was a really big deal. I mean, I don't think that there was anybody that was around in 1993 that wasn't aware of Zima. And it was just the kind of thing where it was kind of a bummer to have never got a chance to try it. And having it back, like, look, am I going to get it every single day? Absolutely not. Will I get it once a year? Yeah, I probably will, because it's Zima, and that's important. It's important that we support it. We support companies that are willing to kind of celebrate their history. You know, I mean, this is a big deal. Like, this isn't like bringing back Ecto Cooler. That's no risk. You know what I mean? Like, bringing back Ecto Cooler, bringing back Crystal Pepsi, you know, are very, very cool. But this one, like, do people really get that drinking nostalgia for Zima? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But I just love that they're trying it. It's just so cool, and they did a great job. They did a great job with the packaging, so it's a 10. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Now, in terms of the flavor, super drinkable, super. It's a good balance of sweet and. You know, I mean, a 5% alcohol by volume, I mean, that's pretty good, right? I mean, that's a fairly strong drink. I would say it's, would you say about an 8, maybe? I mean, for what it is, I mean, look, on the scope of like a Busch is a 10, which obviously Busch is a 10, it's like a 3, like on that scale. But like, in terms of like just the whole scope of alcoholic beverages, I give it about an 8. You know, I'd say it's better than about 80% of the alternatives out there in terms of its taste. And really, I mean, you're getting a fairly strong drink that you can actually polish off a few of. So, not too bad. Do you think it's any better or worse than that? I mean,
I'd say it's almost as good as a Smirnoff.
You think Smirnoff's better, huh? I mean, in general?
I'd like
really?
to do it head to head.
I guess we never really thought about it. I can tell you from my limited memory of Smirnoff that I prefer this significantly.
Actually,
Because Smirnoff is way too sweet. I mean, like I could not imagine drinking even one bottle of Smirnoff. I just could not. Whereas with this, I mean, it drinks kind of like a beer and kind of like a soda. It doesn't have that same like that's when I drink a Smirnoff, like I get that. So you don't really get that with Zima. And hey, look. Have you guys had a chance to try it out, or have you never had a chance to try it out, or just weren't aware of the re-release last year and now you're planning on trying it out? Let us know what you think about Zima, and most importantly, subscribe to the Consumer Time Capsule YouTube channel. We're really trying to get to that 1,000 subscriber mark, so please help us any way you can. Subscribe or tell a friend. I'm also on Twitter and Instagram at ConsumerTC. You can check me out there as well. But really, until next time, I'll miss you till I see ya. Cheers.